Dear listener, Yuta's family had to move to Jakarta because of his father's job. So Yuta began to live all by himself starting March 2013. However, it only lasted a few days. In a virtual repeat of last year's attempt to keep his dark Chunibyo history safely away, and to start life anew in high school, Rikka had to go out of her way and foil Yuta's plans again. Rikka's mother also had to move out of town, and why not revisit Rikka's independence and the previous stories to understand this one? Not to mention, Yuta kind of lied to Toka and told her he'd place Rikka in some sort of small apartment, and now the two lovers are 1 week into their life of deceit. However, I have a feeling it'll get better soon. The myth storyteller. Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions Retold. Heartthrob. Episode 15. A New Day. April 2013 came, and it was the first day of Yuta and Rikka's second school year. That morning, Yuta and Rikka got up. Yuta set up laundry and began to make breakfast. Rikka was getting dressed in her room. Yuta! Called Rikka. Yeah? What's up? I can't find the ribbon for my school uniform. I told you to get everything ready last night, said Yuta. I'm coming in. So Yuta opened the door to Rikka's room and found her drawing a pentagram on her left forearm. Yuta got fed up. This is no time for goofing around, he shouted. Knock it off! Don't make me yank out your antenna! Please don't! It's my most attractive feature! Wailed Rikka. Shortly after that small argument, Yuta and Rikka were having breakfast. Rikka fed a piece of her tomato to Chimera. You could at least try one, said Yuta. They taste just like strawberries. That's ridiculous, remarked Rikka. Then she began to feel worried. Oh no, you're becoming more and more like the priestess with every passing day. Are you under her influence? I'm saying it for your own good, replied Yuta. Rikka still didn't like tomatoes, but she especially didn't like getting any of its juice on herself, which is what happened to her. Yuta went to dry her stain off with a towel, but they blushed and looked away. I asked Yuta sometime prior to this morning if he and Rikka were a couple yet, but he hesitated to answer and I respected that. I'll let you decide if they're a couple or not, since Yuta and possibly Rikka are unsure. Yuta wondered how they got to romance from such an awkward starting point. He had never even had a normal girlfriend before, so having one with Chunibyo sets the bar even higher. But in a way, things have sort of gone back to how they were before. Soon, Yuta and Rikka made it to their school, Icho Private High. They didn't see this, but there was a girl with a long red patterned skirt and black hair. Guten Morgen! My name is Shinka Nibutani, and I'm a sophomore in high school today. Two schoolgirls were surprised to see her like this. Nibutani? Is that you? They asked. Hi there. How do you do, everyone? Replied Nibutani. Let's be sure to make it another good year. Sure, replied the two girls, and Nibutani skipped happily away. Like, what's wrong with her? I have no idea, they said to each other. Yuta and Rikka were inside the school building. I'm going to say this one more time. Remember what you promised me yesterday, said Yuta. Of course, replied Rikka. Based on the ancient hieroglyphs, the hateful magic barrier attack must have been triggered by the Freemasons. Nope, said Yuta, and he whispered, How we're living together at my place? It's supposed to be a secret. Oh, yes that, replied Rikka. That's the only thing I talked to you about. We really ought to drop by the realty office again today, said Yuta. If you're referring to my new base, it's already been located. For real? Asked Yuta, surprised. It is in the demon world of the impossibly wicked one, invisible to the eyes of mere mortals, shouted Rikka. I thought you were being serious. I'm yanking your antenna hair out right now, shouted Yuta. No, don't do it, wailed Rikka. Well, I see you lovebirds are already at it, said someone. Yuuta and Rikka saw him. Do I know you? Asked Yuuta. It's me, Isshiki, Makoto Isshiki, he said. He had his red electric guitar and a new hairstyle dyed yellow. Yuuta turned to Rikka and asked, Is he a friend of yours? Nope, don't know him, she replied. It's me! Exclaimed Isshiki. The guy who's in the music club! I sacrificed everything for Kumin the Enchantress! Oh yeah, what's up with your hair? Asked Yuuta. Yeah, Captain Crew Cut, added Rikka. Stop calling me that! Replied Isshiki. That version of me is dead and gone, you hear? The new me is awesome and has an awesome rock and roll haircut! Just then, there was a big and tall hall monitor behind him. What happened to your head, boy? He asked. Let's take a trip to the student counselor. He took Isshiki by the back as the latter wept. You've got it all wrong, sir! My hair grew back like this after I shaved it, I swear! He said. Whatever, remarked the hall monitor. They passed Kumin, coming the opposite way. Hello, Kumin, my darling. Good morning, I love you, said Isshiki. Who the heck was that? Asked Kumin. I could have sworn Isshiki went his separate ways with her. Good morning, Rikka and Togashi, said Kumin. Starting today, you're both sophomores. Congrats! Thanks. And I guess you're a junior now, said Yuuta. Uh-huh. And it's a total letdown. Because you have to start thinking about college? Mm-hmm. But that isn't even the worst part of it. Do you want to know what is? Asked Kumin. Okay, tell us, replied Rikka. Because being a junior is so next year, shouted Kumin. Yuuta and Rikka were greatly confused. Kumin pulled out her book, puzzled as well. That should be funny, she said sadly. I mean, that's how the book taught me to deliver it and everything. What you got there, Kumin? Asked Yuuta. You know how Mori Summer is always making everybody laugh and have a good time and stuff? She asked. Well, I just want to be really funny like her. Growing older brings many changes. Just then, a girl with a long red patterned skirt and black hair passed by. But Kumin wasn't fooled by her new look and proceeded to talk to her. Mori Summer, good morning, called Kumin. Nibutani tried her best to hold her social fake. Oh goodness, what are you supposed to be? Asked Kumin. Nibutani pretended not to know her and replied, How do you do, upperclassmen? As you can see, I'm wearing regulation attire, she smiled. Is that an advanced level joke? Asked Kumin, showing Nibutani her book. But she ushered Kumin away and said, Upperclassmen, if I might have a word. Mori Summer, where are we going? Asked Kumin. Yuuta and Rikka could see this happening. And so was someone else. Death! Soon, everyone was in the entrance ceremony inside a gym with all the other students. There was someone giving a welcome speech on stage. Nibutani thought, I'll show you. I made a lot of mistakes, but that's going to change this year. I swear, I will claw my way to the top of this school, all the way to the top. Then, the announcer said, The next speech comes from our new students, represented by Sanae Dekomori. Nibutani and Rikka were surprised. Deko went up to the stage and delivered her speech. She had her hair down and a yellow bow in place of her red ribbon on her chest. I'm the new student representative, Sanae Dekomori. With the warm days of spring, the trees become enrobed in fresh new green livery. Our student lives also begin anew. As Deko spoke to the whole gym, Nibutani still tried her best to keep a pleasant look on her face. A student girl leaned to her and whispered, They say that Dekomori got even better grades than you had last year, Nibutani. Good for her, she replied. She secretly had a small piece of folded paper and rubber band and flung it to Deko right in the face. Ugh! The audience got worried. Deko found and already recognized the one who attacked her. Yet, she cleared her throat and continued to deliver her speech. I believe everyone is aware that in this universe, there are light worlds and there are worlds of darkness. Nibutani gasped. Dekomori was likely reciting the Mabinogion she wrote back in her Chunibyo hood. Seeing spirits requires the proper understanding in heart, and love is everything. Thank you. Dekomori took a bow while Nibutani passed out. It also doesn't help that most, if not everyone, could see through Nibutani's new look. Rikka and Kumin were proud of Deko while Yuta was neutral. After the assembly, Yuta, Rikka, and Nibutani were in the same class, room 1-4. We share the same class once again, light being, said Rikka to Nibutani. She was crying and laughing. Whatever you say, Takanashi, she smiled awkwardly. You seem troubled, said Rikka. Just then, 3 student girls showed up near her. Takanashi, said one of them. Her name was Kazari Kanagi and was one of Rika's friends she made back in November 2012. We're in the same class, how cool, said Kazari. You ready for a great year? Asked one of her friends. Uh-huh, yeah, smiled Rikka. Miss Nanase is our homeroom teacher, added Kazari. Yuta was proud of Rikka and her friend's relationship. Just then, Isshiki popped up beside him. Tagashi! He scared Yuta by mistake. Isshiki was crying. They told me to get my hair cut for school tomorrow. What should I do? How should I know? It's your own fault, so quit whining, replied Yuta. How rude, I thought to myself. Then, Yuta wondered for a moment. Are we in the same class again? No, I'm in room 1-3 next door, replied Isshiki. Aw, man, smiled Yuta. Isshiki got upset. What, are you serious? You could at least pretend to be upset. I mean, you were smiling and everything. Tagashi, said someone. A moment, please. It was Nibutani. She had stopped crying and had her social fake back. Who's this divine beauty? Asked Isshiki. At least he was fooled by her new look. Pleased to meet you, said Nibutani. Might you happen to be a friend of Tagashi's? I'm so totally new to the school. This is getting weird, thought Yuta. Soon, Yuta and Nibutani were alone in a hallway. I'm only bringing this up because we share a classroom, said Nibutani. I have given Takanashi clear instructions not to share information about my time in middle school with anyone. Yuta was confused. Are you still on that? He asked. I thought about it all throughout spring break, replied Nibutani. I was questioning my particular decision to attend this particular high school. Do I really want to spend 3 years of my life in that— Ow! She was tripped by a slide-kicking Dekomori. She had pigtails and weighted bags again. Are you okay? Asked Yuta. Servant to the eye of the wicked lord, user of the Mjolnir hammer, Sanae Dekomori is reborn! She shouted. Nibutani got back up on her feet. Only the deviously devious fake Mori Summer would stage an attack on me in my temporary guise, continued Deko. You are rotten to the core. Now, observe my amazing moves! She began to spin both her pigtails. Deko then began to spin around in circles, but she got motion sick and dropped to the floor. You sure get motion sick easily, said Yuta. I, Dekomori, will never be beaten, she shouted. Then, Nibutani tossed a small slice of cheese right in her mouth. Because you're such a vibrant and energetic freshman, she smiled, teasing Deko. As a reward, I gave you some cheese you love so very much. Deko ran in circles and away from Yuta and Nibutani. She still hated milk and cheese. Don't you think you're overdoing it? Asked Yuta. One must deal with the trouble of one's creation, Tagashi, replied Nibutani, eating a piece of her cheese. Just then, the announcement speaker went off. Attention please. Rikka Takanashi of room 1-4. Please report to the staff room immediately. I repeat, Rikka Takanashi of room 1-4. Please report to the staff room immediately. Thank you. Rikka and her friends were reading a magazine when this happened. The school is being overrun by the enemy, said Rikka. Oh, don't be silly, replied her friends. Rika made it to the staff room accompanied by Yuta, where Miss Nanase was waiting for her. "They sent out letters?" asked Yuta. "I'm afraid so," replied Miss Nanase. "The school mailed at least 3 to your home. All came back and returned to sender." "That may be due to the fact that my existence has been erased from this world," said Rika. "And whenever we've called you, it says the phone number is no longer in use," said Miss Nanase. "My existence has been erased," repeated Rika. "Well, I can see that you exist right now, so perhaps it'll go through next time, huh?" "It will not." "Why not?" My eye! My eye!" Rika moaned and pretended that her eye was resonating. Classic Rika. "Please stop," said Yuta. Afterwards, Yuta and Rika went to their club room, the Far East Magical Napping Society summer thereof. Yuta seated himself in the kotatsu and rested his head. "Miss Nanase seemed to buy it this time, but we can't keep this up forever, you know," he said. "That's the wrong attitude," replied Kumin. "It's difficult," moaned Yuta. "Can't you just try to take a bite?" asked Kumin. Turns out she and Dekomori were sleeping in the kotatsu, and that Kumin was sleep-talking. "Why don't you come on over here and join us, Rika?" asked Yuta. "No thank you," she replied. "The incubus lives in that coffin. Even one forged in darkness such as I dare not approach. I once experienced a frightening dream under its influence." "Huh? What did you dream about?" asked Yuta. Rika hesitated to answer. In March 2013, she dreamt about their wedding, but that's a story for another time. Yuta got out of the kotatsu and went to Rika by the window. "Rika, if you had to make a choice, where do you think you'd like to live?" "What do you mean?" she asked. "What we were talking about before," replied Yuta. He then posed like the Dark Flame Master and said, "Regarding your base in battle formation." Rika's antenna hair was bouncing constantly. "The base is an excellent geomagnetic focal point where both the Eye of the Wicked Lord and the Dark Flame Master can manifest themselves together," she said. "You do know that's a bad idea, don't you?" said Yuta. Rika's antenna hair drooped. "I'm aware," she said sadly. Then, they put their school slippers back on and left the club. After closing their door, Nibutani showed up, dressed as a shrine maiden from her drama club. "Nibutani, hey, what's with the costume?" they asked. "Where is she?" replied Nibutani. "Look at what she did to my costume at the theater club!" She showed her back to reveal a Japanese character written there. It translated to fake. "She's sleeping inside," replied Yuta. "Sleeping? Well, 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 how convenient." Nibutani had a smug smile and pulled out a black marker. She was going to write on Dekomori's hand. And with that, Yuta and Rika left. "See ya! Later!" After school, Yuta and Rika were out in the community, looking for a new home for Rika. There were flyers of homes on sale for 56,000 yen and 48,000 yen. "Yeesh, these are crazy expensive," said Yuta. "I have no idea what kind of place you'd even be able to afford." "I favor a subterranean labyrinth, but a medieval castle will do," said Rika. "Can you please be serious?" asked Yuta. "I saw a castle with a sign that says, 'Cheap rates for couples,'" said Rika. Yuta gasped. "You idiot! You can't stay in a place like that!" he said. "My apologies. I had no idea that the rent would be so expensive. I mean, I knew it would be a lot, but not this much," said Rika. "I didn't realize how much it would be either," replied Yuta. We'll figure something out." And with that, Yuta and Rika began to make their way home. "Yuta, will I be barred from visiting your home base once I've been relocated to my new one?" asked Rika, worried. "Don't be silly," replied Yuta. "But I won't be able to come here anymore on my commute to and from school." "Well, yeah, Probably not, I guess. And I won't be able to go to your room to report particular activity in the magical realm. Yeah, that's a real shame, isn't it? Yuta, I'm not sure about this. Don't worry, I'll drop by to pick you up for school. We just need to find you a place nearby so I can visit you whenever I want. Rika's eyes began to tear up. Can't the two of us just stay together? She asked. Yuta didn't answer, but I believed that no force on earth would ever tear them apart. Yuta and Rika would always be together to death, and likely beyond. Just then, Nibutani and Kumin showed up. Hey guys! Nibutani? Asked Yuta. Takanashi's apartment is completely empty. Just what on earth is going on here? Did you move or something, Rika? They asked. Yuta was about to answer when, I think it's time for an explanation, said someone. It was Toka. Rika got even more nervous while Yuta said, Hey! What's up? Toka was not happy. I'm heading back to Italy soon, but you won't give me your new address and you're not answering your phone. What is the deal? It's not what you think, replied Yuta. Rika was quick to pull out her Schwartz ZX prototype Mark II. Run for it, Yuta! Wait, what? I see, said Toka. You're trying to keep it a secret from me, huh? Well, in that case... She pulled out her ladle. Just then, Dekomori also showed up. Master! She ran in front of Rika and Yuta facing Toka. I was right to follow that fake Mori Summer after all. I'll buy you time to escape from the priestess! Shouted Deko. Yuta was worried. You do realize who you're up against, right? Well, of course I do. She's the evil priestess who once force-fed me a heap of rotten dairy. I couldn't wish for a worthier opponent. Now, come at me! Deko posed with her right hand facing Toka. The latter then got furious. So much so that something dark resonated within her soul. Uh-oh, said Nibutani. She wrote a Japanese character on Deko's hand, which translated to, dummy.
You asked for it,
said Toka. Her sclers turned black as she spun her ladle around. Deko looked at her hand and realized her mistake. Uh-oh. Yuta and Rika realized what the black stuff on Toka was. The hate, they said. It had taken over her by 10%. The 5 students had to stop Toka before she could hurt anyone. Dekomori felt ready to take on Hate Toka.
Remember when you tried to kill me last summer?
She asked. Yuta and Rika's friends were shocked. You did what? Asked Kumin.
Now it's my turn.
The hate takeover reached 25%. While Dekomori battled Toka, Nibutani and Kumin were unsure what to do. Yuta and Rika, however, had experience with hate and knew what to do. Deko summoned her Mjolnir hammer. You'll never take me or my master alive! She used Mjolnir lightning on Toka, but she blocked it with her ladle. The hate reached 40%, and Deko's friends had to act fast. She was about to attack again when Yuta stopped her. Listen up, I have a plan. And he told his friends all about it. Toka was getting impatient.
I'm about to become the priestess you've always called me,
she said. Her arms and head were twitching fiercely. She was ready to use her special move, Edo Stire. It means oven roasted, where Toka would bake her opponents alive and eat them to heal up. The 5 students agreed with Yuta's plan and it was underway. Hey Toka! Shouted Yuta. You don't have to be the bad guy. You make good meals, complimented Kumin. And you're very powerful, added Nibutani. I meant to call fake Mori Summer a dummy, not you, lied Deko. Hey, said Nibutani. Toka, said Rika. Her sister drew her ladle toward her. Rika tried her best not to be intimidated by her. You're not a monster, finished Rika. That made Toka have a flashback. In 1993, When she was a child, Toka had a talk with her father, back when he was alive. Papa? What is it? My classmates called me a monster. Is that true? Father Takanashi smiled. No, it's not true. He replied, You're not a monster. You're my beautiful older daughter. And so is Rika. Don't let anyone tell you differently. And with that, Father hugged Toka and kissed her on the forehead. Thanks, Papa. That memory made Toka tear up and shake. Now, said Yuta, and Rika ran over and gave Toka a great big hug. Thanks for being my one and only sister, said Rika. Toka dropped her ladle and hugged back. And with that, the hate was cleansed and had been defeated again. For now. The power of love saved her. I'm so sorry for mistreating you, said Toka. Aww, went Kumin and Nibutani. Welp, I guess that's that, thought Yuta. Now, why was I upset again? Asked Toka. Yuta sighed. All right, meet me in my apartment and I'll explain everything, he said. Yuta and Rika brought Toka, Nibutani, Dekomori, and Kumin to their apartment. Yuta sure had some explaining to do. You shacked up? Exclaimed Nibutani, Deko, and Kumin. Like I said, it's not what you think, replied Yuta. In what way? Asked Nibutani. I mean, the two of you are living together in the same apartment and you are boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Please control your disgusting imagination, Deko said to Nibutani. What do you mean, disgusting? I think you're the one with the dirty mind, you naughty little thing, she smirked. Deko blushed and gasped. What? I, Dekomori, am always pure of thought! Nibutani chuckled. Your face is as red as a beet. You're so cute. Be quiet! Be quiet, you big-boobed freak! Shouted Deko. She legit said that in the original anime. I couldn't believe it either. Deko, you can cut it out now, said Nibutani. This shacking up stuff is so shocking, smiled Kumin. Toka softly ladled her. Okay, maybe I deserved that, said Kumin. Anyway, began Yuta. It's really not what you think, I promise. We had no other choice. So you're trying to tell me that you had absolutely no choice but to live with my little sister, who you just so happened to be dating, said Toka. She may have been saved, but she still had the same personality. That's not what I meant, replied Yuta. So you're saying the two of you aren't together? No! Did the two of you break up? Asked Kumin. You dissolved your pact? Added Deko. Who dumped who exactly? Finished Nibutani. Quit it! Stop putting words in my mouth, alright? Shouted Yuta. Fine then. Start talking, said Toka. Yes, we are living together, said Yuta. But it's mostly because I was concerned about leaving Rika on her own. It's been almost a week now and nothing of the sort is going on. Right. Rika, what do you say? Asked Toka. Our contract remains unaltered, she replied. In other words, we're not living together, we're roommates, said Yuta. But Toka didn't buy it and threw her ladle at Yuta and went back to her. You really think that'll fly with me? She asked sternly. Do you think I'm just going to allow it? No matter what you say, you're still a boy. She pulled out one of Yuta's cursed magazines. He was quick to swipe it this time. There's no way I can let you two live together, said Toka. She pulled out 2 more magazines to make her point and dropped them. I will find Rika an apartment, and if you have a problem with that, then I'll be taking Rika to Italy with me, she continued. Italy? Asked Nibutani. The magical society, the cardinal, the pizza! Exclaimed Deko. Am I to be imprisoned in such a horrendous place with no chance of escape? Asked Rika. But master, Italy is home to all things occult. The Vatican, Sixth Sense, I see dead people, exclaimed Deko excitedly.
Home to the occult, huh? Said Rikka. I bet you really want to go now, don't you? Said Yuuta, crossing his arms. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Yuuta, I'm home. It was Kuzuha. She was surprised to see Rikka, Nibutani, Kumin, Dekomori, and Toka all here in the Togashi apartment. Good evening, she said to them. Kuzuha? What are you doing here? Asked Yuuta. Really? You don't know? She replied, confused. Surely you were told I was coming back home to start the new school semester. Told? Told by who? Asked Yuuta. Rikka, surprised. Her eye patch fell off for dramatic effect. Told by Mom, of course, replied Kuzuha. But Mother Togashi forgot to do so, hence Yuuta and Rikka's confusion.
Soon, everyone was having tea in the dining room.
Yuuta told Kuzuha that Rikka had been living with him for the past week. That makes sense. After all, she doesn't have her own place, right? And it's not like we don't have room. You sure you're okay with that? Asked Yuuta. Toka sighed. To be honest, I was also concerned about leaving Rikka on her own. If you would act as a supervisor, it should be okay. I'm sorry. Just please let her stay here a little longer. She bowed. Of course, smiled Kuzuha. Understood. You can count on me, said Rikka. But do hurry up and find your own place to live, all right? Said Toka. And so, Yuta's life alone with Rikka came to an abrupt end, and 3 teenagers began life together that spring. Toka, Dekomori, Nibutani, and Kumin all said goodbye and left. That very same night,
Rikka found the dark notebook which Yuuta gave to her back in spring 2012.
She forgot to return it to him. She found a paper inside and read it. Something about a dark flame dragon. And with that, she left without a word.
Yuuta was concerned where Rikka went and was surprised that someone moved into what used to be her apartment already.
It was only a matter of time until it happened. As for Rikka, she stared out to the water, feeling determined as the cherry blossom petals fell. She had a new goal. What did it have to do with the dark flame dragon? And who moved into the apartment above Yuuta, Kuzuha, and Rikka's? These questions may be answered soon. And to be honest with you, I can't wait to revisit more of this wonderful world as the adventure continues.